Welcome back to the channel, you guys. This is Bert here at the Never Ending Projects, and I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but we are back. I had some things going on. We had a storm that came through here in Central California and flooded our lake and rivers, and there was evacuations and a lot of stuff going on. Life gets in the way, hard to get back into it, but here I am now. We are kind of closing out the finishing of the pool. It's really hasn't changed a whole lot since we last saw it. Concrete is pretty much done all the way around. The only thing that it hasn't been done is, if you'll notice, there's a white piece of concrete and that just hasn't been sealed. Otherwise everything else has been done. It's a pool deck is a sand wash finish. I'll show you what that looks like. It's basically like a grit sand texture, non-slip texture. And then the patio that we had poured is stamped with the rock, kind of mimics rock. But I'll show you some close-ups of that in a second, and as well as some video footage of when they came and they poured it. So that's pretty much all that's been done so far. Is just the pool deck, or I'm not the pool deck, all the concrete really is completed except for that one piece. So I'll show you the product and then kind of how they started. There's actually 3 different ways to do sand wash finish that I know of, and if you know of another one, let me know. But the only 3 that I know of are one is with the top cast. Basically they pour that concrete out, about an hour afterwards they spray it with what's called a top cast, or I've also heard it been described as sugar water. And they get like a pump sprayer or a backpack sprayer, and you spray that top cast all over the top of the concrete, and whatever that touches, it doesn't allow that concrete to dry. So they leave it overnight. Everything else underneath that sprayed top layer, everything else dries, and the next morning you come over with a pressure washer, pressure wash it, and it'll leave that sand wash finish once it's completed. That's the first way. The second way is, while it's drying, maybe like an hour afterwards, when that cream has came up to the top, you can just run a regular hose, not a pressure washer, just regular hose water, run it over the top as it's drying, and it'll leave that sand wash finish also. That's kind of hard to do with a large area because you have a bunch of different concrete drying at different times, and you run the risk of kind of taking too much of that cream off, and then you'll get more of an exposed aggregate look. The same thing with the top cast. If you do that and you pressure wash, you could possibly take up too much of the cream, leaving more exposed aggregate rather than the sand finish. So they're done the same ways, but this way I had never seen before. The contractor, what they did is they let the concrete cure, and then spray a muriatic acid over the top and let it eat away the cream, and then scrub it with a wire brush to bring up that sand wash finish. And then I have some videos of them doing that. If you wonder why, it's a lot of work. It is. I saw them all like, what the fuck? What are you guys doing? I heard you guys can do it this other way. They said no. Well, the reason they do it this way is because you can control how much of that cream you pull off of the top and how much you expose. With the other ways, you run the risk of taking too much off and getting those bigger chunky rocks towards the top. And since this is a pool deck, you don't want to have some big chunky rocks poking out of the concrete when you have kids running around with bare feet. So this way you spray the acid on, scrub that brush, the wire brush over the top, and bring up as much as you want. If you see something that maybe there's too big of a rock, you can kind of brush around that and expose the area around it, but not expose that big maybe rock that's settling in. There's also techniques of when they're putting the concrete in and floating it out and leveling it all out to keep those bigger rocks down. When they trowel it, you kind of smack the concrete and knock those heavier rocks down and bring that cream up to the top, so there's more of a working area once you're coming back with that muriatic acid. So that was pretty cool to watch them do. I'll post some video, or in this video I'll show you in a second how they did that, and then I'll also show you some close-ups of what that looks like. Other than that, that's pretty much all that we had done so far. The pebble's going to be going in after the building. I got the building going up next week, so I know it's been a while, but I'm kind of got a lot of things coming up pretty fast. And once they put the building up, then I'll be good to put the pebble in. I guess they didn't want to do the pebble beforehand, because then they start filling the pool up and the metal building's going up. They're going to be cutting the sheet metal as well as the tube steel, whatever. They didn't want flakes of metal getting into the pool, rusting out and whatnot. So they said, you know what, just put the building up first, and then we'll put the finish in, start filling up your pool. They also came and put the equipment in, so I'll show you what they did over there. And that's pretty much all that I've had going on. Like I said, that storm came through, blew down my fence, so I'll kind of show you what I did over there. Added a little thing to my project list, and then it's also April now, and I've also been working on my lawn. But I didn't really think to put any of that stuff on, but it's a never-ending projects around here, so they just keep coming. I'll start recording that stuff, and maybe next time there won't be such a big gap in videos. But hold on a second, and we'll take you through it. All right. So here we are in the pool. Nothing's really changed. Still where we're at inside. They came and cut the ends of the PVC off. Not really a big deal, but they did that. And then here's what the deck looks like. So the deck looks like, so if I get it to focus, it's just a sandy kind of finish. Feels like, it literally feels like sand on your feet when you're walking. I'm really happy with it. If you'll notice, the only thing, if I had to complain about something, let it focus, you'll notice some of it, there's darker spots. It kind of looks a little splotchy, and that's because when they were taking the top layer off, these wider areas they took off more, and the darker areas they took off less. So that's, and it feels a little bit smoother on those darker areas than it does on the wider areas. Not really a big difference, but like here they took a lot off, and you'll see just a little bit more coarser sand, but nothing you really notice on your feet. It's just kind of visually there. And in the future, if I wanted to, when it's time to redo this seal, because maybe in a couple of years I'll have to reseal it. If I wanted to, I could spray some more muriatic acid on those darker spots and get them to more kind of wash out and be more lighter like this other side. Or I could just reseal it and it's totally fine just like that too. But if you'll notice also, so like they also did a cleaning of the brush finish. Actually, it doesn't show over here. Over here. This also has a sandy finish because they spray that muriatic acid, you know, that cleans concrete. So they also cleaned this before they sealed it, the coping, and it took a little bit of that brush finish off in some areas. The brush is still there, but you'll also see a lot of the sand too. So it kind of blends it together. It's very, I don't know. I really am happy with what we picked. So that's pretty much it for the deck. And then you'll notice the two areas. This is the sealed side. That's some, I don't know what that is, bird dropping or something. And then the unsealed side. There's also like a weird white color that came in afterwards. Once this once they brushed everything off, it rained, and then this white film came up on top of the concrete. I'm not sure what that is. If any of you guys know what that is, let me know. I'm kind of interested. But that was the same thing on this side. Once they come back and seal it, you won't even notice it. So I'm not sure what that is. Byproduct of the acid maybe, I'm not sure. But it'll look good once it's done. And then I'll take you over to the patio. So hold on a second. Okay, so here's the patio, finally all cured up. And this has the charcoal border. It's got that brush finish. And then the inside is a stamped rock finish. And the coping is sealed, but the rock finish is not. And I guess this rock finish gets very slippery if you seal it. And then water gets on it, it just sits on top, and this non-slip texture becomes very slippery. So I see a lot of this stuff around decks of pools, and once it gets wet, and it can become a slippery surface. So I've known people that got that same finish around their pool deck, and they were like, don't put it around your pool, otherwise kids are gonna go flying. So but it looks good over here. This took them, like, they did this quickly. You could tell they've done this type of work quite a bit. The sand wash took them quite a while. But the thing that kind of was crappy about that is when they poured the deck, the storm came in the very next day. So when they came and tried to wash it with the muriatic acid, it was basically just getting diluted by how much rain there came in. So you'll be seeing that in a second of them trying to scrub it out while it's pouring rain. They ended up having to let it dry completely, and then I think 2 weeks later they came back. Once the rains had stopped, it dried up a little bit, and then they ended up using that muriatic acid, but It took them, they said, twice as much acid to get the same effect, and they were out here all day. But this area, the white area, they were able to get that one the next day while the concrete still wasn't completely hard, and that went pretty quickly. They did that in really no time, so that was a lot quicker. But that's it for the decks and patio, and then I'll walk you over here to the pool equipment. They came in on the weekend, knocked this out, and kind of surprised us. Me and my wife on a Saturday woke up and they were out here putting this up. There's a pump over here on the left side, and that runs 2 functions. Each pump, this is a Jandy system, and that pump runs 2 functions. So one is the regular filter action, and then the other action is for the hot tub spa. And that white pipe, there's the only thing missing so far is another pump. So I needed, since we added the bubblers on the Baja shelf, the bubblers need their own pump. So there'll be another 2 action pump, and one will be running the bubblers, and then the other one will just be unused. Eventually we would like to put a waterfall slash slide in that corner, and if we ever get to add that, then that pump will run that function as well. So this they did very quickly. Oversized filter, the 40,000 BTU heater for the hot tub, and also to heat the pool, and then that's it. That they came and wired up the box, ran from my house panel to this sub panel, and then this sub panel is also going to feed the ADU building, which is right there, the conduit coming up right there. Once the ADU's up, they'll run power from there to this sub panel on the building. But that's where we're at so far. I also wanted to touch briefly on a new addition to the list, which will be this little pit area. You'll see this mess that I have, because like I said, it's the never-ending projects around here, so we never have enough. And from the corner of that house down to this deck, we'll be putting in rock surface on the floor for a fire pit to be installed in the future. Just a regular wood burning fire pit. Since I took all my trees down, I have a lot of firewood, and I figured let's use it. So they'll be coming in, putting in the weed barrier fabric and 1-inch rock in this little square area. So they'll be doing that hopefully soon. They said should be 2 weeks. I have a little get-together birthday party for my kid coming up, so they said they would be done by then, but we'll see. Who knows, weather permitting. We've been getting a lot of good weather now, so hopefully done fast. The other thing that got done while I was gone, just to go over real quickly, is my fence that blew down during the storm. And also, don't forget this lovely sidewalk that they poured that I love, because it was just dirt back here. So now we have a little walkway, and you see a lot of the posts. These are the only 2 posts that weren't replaced. They were pretty solid, so I just left them. They're just buried in dirt. And then all the other ones from the front all the way back to this post were replaced and cemented in for a little reinforcement. All the bracing has been replaced all the way down, and some of these panels, pickets, were replaced. All this is 1-inch cedar, pretty solid. It's old, but it's good. The only reason I replaced these was because it's taller, and when I opened up my bathroom window, I could look out into a yard. You know, it's kind of weird, so I figured we'll put the higher pickets up. Now when I open up my bathroom window and I'm taking a shower, I can just see a fence and not have to worry about anything else. So those are the old shorties. Other than that, that's all I've been doing, plus my yard, which I'll cover in a separate video. But that's it for now. Well, that's it for today's video, you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to hit the like or subscribe if you want to check out more content. We have a lot coming up. The pool's just about done. Once the pebble finish goes in, the water will be following right afterwards, and that'll be good to go. The ADU is going up next week, or the shell of the ADU, the start of that series. Patio, that'll be a while till we get to. Rock area, patio, my fire pit area, possibly turf in this area, or reseed and try to grow some grass back here. With dogs, I don't know how that's going to work, but in the meantime, I'll also be posting what I have going on with my lawn and front yard. But I'm not really a lawn guy, and I'm going to try to figure that out on my own, and I'll show you, take you along the process of trying to get some thick Bermuda grass. If you guys have any input, let me know. And that's pretty much it for now. Until the next time, thank you again for stopping by the Never Ending Projects, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. You guys take care. Thank you.